my topics future-proofing your team. So the question becomes, what are you proofing them for? And I'm not sure whether you're familiar with the acronym VUCA. Who's familiar with that acronym? A couple of people. Well, you're probably going to hear a lot more about it because VUCA is an acronym that they borrowed from the military. And it's an acronym for what they're describing as the new normal workplace. So let's cover checking how much this might resonate with you. So the V stands for volatile. So how many of you here have had change happen at work? Okay, if you haven't, I'm surprised. So what's happening is change is everywhere, and it's not small changes like, a new boss or a new colleague or a, new IT system. There's transformational change going on at the moment. So we're working very much in a volatile environment, and that doesn't matter whether it's corporate or not-for-profit or government, it's all the same. U in the VUCA is uncertainty. How many of you have workplaces where there's a lot of contractual contracts or casual labour? That's a really very common example of uncertainty that's creating a lot of issues. So unfortunately at work, uncertainty about our job affects everything in our lives. So when we're not sure whether our contracts can be renewed, it creates an added dimension that it might be about uncertainty about whether we're going to go to the barbecue on the weekend to have uncertainty. And what we're finding is it's becoming harder and harder to hold people in uncertainty and keep them engaged in their work. But again, they're saying this is actually the new normal. So casualisation of work is on the increase as we know. The C is for complexity. So thinking about the last 5 years, how many of you would say your work is far more complex? Only a couple. So it's like everything interrelates, doesn't it? So it used to be that you just did this, but now you have to worry about that and worry about this. Your legal obligations, the governance obligations, the financial obligations, the social media obligations. Everything's more and more interconnected. So I was talking with someone this morning from a not-for-profit, and she was talking about how complex her job is and how many things she has to think about in doing her work, and they work in homelessness. And the last one is ambiguity, and where that comes into play is that some of the problems we're having to solve in our work, whether we're managers or whether we're in a technical environment, are problems that we might not have accounted for. And so working with ambiguity and without that sort of sense of what's right and wrong and what we can do and can't do has become increasingly something that we have to grapple with. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to touch a little bit on those elements of the emerging new normal, if you like, and I'm going to give you a little bit of tip around what that actually means for what we need to be thinking about at the team level. So the V remembers volatility, so that's about change. So if you think about the last 7 years, so not you to think about 5 years, if you think about the last 7 years, we've seen a lot of what they would call disruption happening. And these are the role models of disruptors, if you like. Has anyone stayed in an Airbnb? Okay, at least half. I've got one in North Adelaide if you want to come stay with me. Has anyone had an Uber? Has anyone walked from Alibaba? Probably less so, because it's more in Asia. So who would have thought that one of the largest accommodation organisations in the world has no hotels, no motels? So technology is enabling this turnaround of how we do things, and we've just got an example here in the taxi industry, the retail industry, the accommodation industry is turning on its ear. And so if you get a chance to work in any organisation which is actually particularly IT generated or the corporate world, they're all wanting to be the disruptor. We want to disrupt the market, we want to have the new ideas, the different ideas, so we can turn the market on its head. So disruption is something that we're going to be hearing more about. The other thing that's happening, which is incredibly scary, is the whole aspect of artificial intelligence and robots. So we already have robots doing surgery. They're predicting that we're going to have artificial intelligence on our boards So that'll be really interesting, having a computer sitting at the table. My son sent me an article recently about law. And this article, about 4 years ago, was seen as being ridiculous because it was talking about how artificial intelligence could actually replace lawyers and how the artificial intelligence could write briefs. And he wrote to me and said, Mum, what am I going to do? I'm he's 24, what jobs are going to be left for me? So again, we're actually going to be seeing a whole era that we just can't even conceive what that's going to be at the moment. So what does that mean? It means that there's going to be transformation in our lifetime at a considerable level, let alone at the lifetime of our children. So what does this actually mean at the team level? Well, the first thing it means, of course, is that it's adapt or die. Okay, so if we have teams where change is seen as something that we have to manage and resist and move through slowly, and I was at an organisation today where it's very much the case, the whole conversation is around a group who are incredibly resistant, who are not wanting to change, who haven't changed for a long time and don't intend to, and are kicking up a fuss. That will become a relevance issue. It will not be relevant if you actually don't adapt. And so what does that mean in terms of the teams? Well, the first thing I think about is Mr. Bean, believe it or not. He's my favourite resilient person. Do you remember that one where he played the golf and I don't know how many balls he hit, all over London, I think it was. But he definitely is a flexible thinker, isn't he? So we have no room anymore for people who are black and white, we should be doing this, we shouldn't be doing that. We need to be looking at flexible thinking. So how we think is dictated a lot by the communication that we put out there. So flexible thinking is what we're really wanting to be moving towards rather than fixed thinking. And particularly at a manager level, I'm finding that managers who are very black and white are not going to actually make the grade. And one of the reasons with the next slide is that as the complexity increases, so we've got change in complexity, if you can't see, how they say, see the forest from the trees, the conceptual thinkers are the ones who can see the forest from the trees, whereas the people who are stuck in it are the ones who are stuck in the detail. And we need more and more people in leadership who are able to actually work with the complexity and make sense of it, make sense of the noise. Another good example would be that there is an incredible amount of information out there at the moment, isn't there? So if you're trying to work out what you need to do, you go to Deal or Google and there's no scarcity and advice on what you want to do. But how do you make sense of all that stuff? How do you actually come out of the detail and see what needs to be done, thinking in a conceptual way? So if you don't actually have people in your groups who are able to do that, it's highly problematic. And unfortunately, this is one of those that's a little bit in your DNA, I believe, anyway. So some people are more able to think conceptually and other people are more detailed. And it's not to say that if you're a detailed person, you're in trouble. It's just to say that if your whole organisation, if your whole team is like that, you're going to be in trouble. You need the conceptual people, the people who are out there. And we need people who are quite creative. So again, within your team, where does the creative energy come from? Do you nurture that, or do you see them as crazy and discount them? Do you harness creativity in your organisations, or does the bureaucracy and the systems actually just kill it off? So the question would be, if I came to your teams, would I see a team that was adaptive, or would I see a team that sort of changes something to move through and be managed? If I came to your team, would I actually see a team where people were open to new ideas, that were flexible in their thinking, or would I see people stuck in what they have now? And those things are, ask yourself those questions because they're really the indicators around adaptability. So it's really career limiting move to be thinking outside the box. So the next time you hear someone saying that won't work, or we shouldn't do it that way, imagine being at the table when someone invented Airbnb, or someone invented Uber. And interesting, I've got another colleague who's been over in Silicon Valley, and she posted up to say it's really interesting that the word innovation had only been mentioned once Why? Because it's the way they do it and they accept it as normal. They don't see that innovation is something we need to be working on, trying. It's actually what they do is it's the normal environment. So what else does that mean? It actually means that you need to be ready for disruption within your team. So if you're actually blindly going along and thinking that nothing's going to change, you know, you're still going to, if you're in a not-for-profit, the grants are going to still keep coming. If you're in a government organisation, the taxpayer money is going to still keep coming, the service is going to be delivering, then again, I think you're probably a little bit delusional. And there's a whole industry that's emerging at the moment, and it's called organisational resilience. And it's actually people who are working with organisations on how do they prepare for disruption. Whether that disruption is a flood, as we had the other day, or fires, which we've had, or whether it's a disruption like Dreamworld, where there was an accident, but it wasn't the accident that became problematic. It was the way the organisation dealt with that was totally in conflict with values that became the disruptor. So again, you know, you're going to see more and more people talking about resilience and the importance of building resilience because we need to prepare for disruptions. So staying relevant is certainly an issue, and you know, thinking of it, going back to my son said, you know, what am I going to do? Mum, we're all going to be robots doing all those things. If you bring that back to your team, you know, how are you going to make sure you stay relevant personally and your team stays relevant? And of course, a critical bit of that is getting feedback. So when was the last time your team sought feedback and what it actually did? And not only sought that feedback, but did something on it. So I was working with an organisation and they had a particular call centre, and the call centre were seen as problematic and had a very bad reputation within the organisation. And they were moving children premises, and they were doing all this really fancy, you know, office space and new equipment, etc., etc. But they were going with no consideration of what the service is going to be like. And when I asked this group, what do customers think of you and what do they expect of you, they didn't have an answer. So why waste your money doing all the, you know, the fancy bits about the offers when actually they didn't even really understand what services they were delivering and what that would look like if they were doing a good job. So that goes to us too, you know, when was the last time you actually sought out feedback about how you actually go yourself, let alone in your teams? And who should that feedback come from? If you don't know what your stakeholders think of you, then how you actually be doing your job and how you're going to stay relevant. And the number of restructures happening at the moment is incredible, where people just suddenly, a whole part of the business is just seen as irrelevant and it's extraordinary. So you need to be constantly thinking about getting feedback so that you make sure that you're actually aligning and making sure that you're delivering on whatever the organisation needs. So another trend, so I talked about the trend of VUCA. Another trend is this. So in the next 7 years, in the next 5 years rather, they consider that 35% of skills considered important today, not just existing today, important today, will have changed. And I read an article the other day that said that there's even some thought that professions will disappear. And there's been some work done on job clusters, and I think there's about 7 job clusters, and they've worked out that if you did some skills in these particular clusters, they would allow you to be a lawyer or a scientist and so on. So it's almost like throwing away the labels and coming back to the old transferable skills and abilities type environment. So what does that mean for teams? The whole aim of this, what is it here? It's a dinosaur, don't be a dinosaur, didn't get that. Capability building, okay. So sometimes we recruit someone on a job description, don't we? Who has job description? Who has detailed job description? What's the problem with a detailed job description? Sorry?
Limiting?
Limiting, yeah. So it's great if you want to say, hang on, your job description says this and you haven't been doing it, which is why people tend to write very long and detailed job descriptions. But job descriptions that are too detailed are highly limiting because we're actually wanting to bring someone in and make sure they continue to be relevant. So if we're not actually building capability of our teams all the time, again, it's going to be problematic. So I might say, okay, well, I need this particular person, but the job might evolve, and I'm stuck with someone on that job description. So again, in your team, do you know the skills you have? Are you cross-skilling, making sure that everyone's skilling? Are you constantly adapting the skills? Or are you recruiting someone with that skill set and saying, tick, we've got that actual skill? Because building capability has become a real issue. And one of the smart things, and this is one of the aspects of our model of resilience, is a very smart way of actually building capability is to develop networks that allow you to build your capability without putting your staff on. So let me give you an example. So I might be a team leader, and we're actually going through a major IT upgrade, and I have no idea about IT, and nor does everyone in the team. Actually, call centre's actually overwhelmed. No one wants to work in an IT call centre anymore. They're overwhelmed with queries, so they have, we're on the end of the waiting list. So strategically in our network, we have someone with IT knowledge that we can tap into. So straight away, we built our capability through our networks, and that IT person might call on us for something else. So we need to be smartly thinking about, to do our job as a manager and to do our job as a team, who do we need to build relationships with? And that's a really smart way of building your capability, is to do that. Making sure there's a reciprocation, because you can't rely on people without actually being able to give something back. So smart managers that I meet have an incredible network of support that they call on, that they maintain and build, and they also link their team to support. And it's a very good way of building capability without any more staff, because no one has any money to put. Well, that's not true, some people do, but in the main, people don't have any money to put more staff on. So, again, if I was to come to your teams, would you have a strategic network of support, or would you just be relying on what's in the team? And would you be working with the skills you have, or would you be thinking about how do we continually develop? Is that learning culture, constantly learning and growing? Because if you're not, then again, it can be problematic. And you might think, oh, this doesn't apply to me. But again, think about the number of changes that are going on and how astronomical they are. The next trend I'm going to talk about is, they're calling it the triple whammy. And it's these statistics, these are Australian statistics. So 22% of people are working more than 50 hours a week, 30% do weekend work, and 27% temporary or casual. So of course the weekend work is enabled through, again, through iPhones and Wi-Fi, etc. So there's great joy in being able to work from home and in your pajamas. I got caught out the other day because I had a good top on and shorts on, and I made a mistake standing up when I was on a Skype. Anyway, that's another story. Wasn't quite the presenter image that I really wanted to give, but the downside of remote working, of course, is the boundaries of work and life becoming more and more blurred. And if we add that to this scary slide, these two people serving macas. The average life expectancy, so the average is 82, and we already know the number of people living to 110 now is phenomenal. And the number of years we're going to be in retirement is greatly reducing. So what we've got now is we don't have aged people, we have three years of aging now. So we've got the baby boomers, and we've got the aged, and then we've got the frail aged. So already we have the baby boomers helping the frail age, and then we've got some of the aged helping the frail age, and then we'll probably have the frail age. So we'll actually be retiring at the frail age, not in the frail age. So we'll actually they'll probably have to make, like walkers that push wheelchairs around, and they'll have to sort of, make those big, huge, wide corridors you walk down in the workplaces. But again, it's a very scary statistic, because we're going to be living longer, we're going to be working longer, so forget that, going on the caravan trip at 65, we're going to have 40 years of retirement to pay for if we do, and Noah's got that sort of, you might, but I haven't got sort of to the surface, so we're going to be working longer. We've also got this dilemma of the number of hours of work. So the other crucial aspect that we're going to be really needing to look at in terms of the future for VITs is personal well-being. And again, we can flog people, but there's a very short life in that. So what we're seeing at the moment is lots of people working for nominal hours, but at a great cost to their health, and of course ultimately what we're going to do is they'll become sick and they'll become unwell, and they won't be able to work. So one of the things that we look at in our resilience is how do we actually sustain optimal performance, how do we build capability, sustain our performance, but how do we do it in a way that protects health and well-being? And if you are actually heading to baby boomer, what are you putting in place for your own health and well-being that's actually going to be able for you to continue your energy levels through that? And I see lots of people, going to 50s and 60s who are really finding it hard to sustain the pace. So how do you do that? Is a whole question that not you personally need to ask, but organisations need to be thinking about. How do we capture the people who are, etc., etc. Nearly finished. So the next trend I want to talk to you about is YOLO. Does anyone know what YOLO is? Have you got kids? No, no. So tell me what YOLO is.
You only live once.
You only live once. Has anyone got teenagers or young? What do you see in them? Do you see YOLO in them? Yeah. I call it champagne taste on a beer budget, I say to my oldest son. Always out to dinner. The other one is FOMO. Do you know what FOMO is? Yeah, all these acronyms. Fear of missing out. It's actually, they did a survey at the Australian Psychological Society this year, and they actually looked at FOMO and its correlation with anxiety. It's all the Facebook stuff, got to be doing things, got to be in it. So that you combine the you only live once and the FOMO, and we've got a generation who really think quite differently. They're not going to be buying the houses and having the mortgages. And that has a big impact in terms of organisations. Because what we have too is we have this great entrepreneurship that comes with that, and a willingness to take risks. And you're seeing we're going to be seeing lots and lots of young people through IT enabling being entrepreneurs and being small business people. And again, you can look like a big corporate and in your back garden. We went to Queensland recently, and my husband wanted to see a supplier. And the supplier kept saying, I want to meet you in a coffee shop. My husband said, I don't do coffee shops. I don't think he's ever had a coffee meeting in his life. I can't believe how many I have. And it turned out that the guy didn't want to have the coffee. He wanted the coffee shop meeting because he worked out of a shed in his house. We didn't care, but it's that stuff where you can have the fancy website, you can do all those sorts of things. So YOLO is something we're going to be experiencing more. And every time I see the statistics, it's changing, it's seriously scary. So the latest version of it is the average 20-year-old today will have 20 different jobs in 15 different organisations in 5 separate careers, which is where that job clustering is starting to happen. So, you get this talent in, they're not going to last for long. So people say to me, I don't want to recruit them because they're going to be gone. But it's about how do you get the most out of them while they're here. And again, I'm telling a bit too many family stories today, especially because this is being videoed. But my youngest son was 20. His last job lasted, I can't remember if it was a week and a half or 2.5 weeks, and he got a better offer than he got. And funnily enough, they were happy because he'd actually done something in that week that had made them quite a bit of money because it was all about IT that they hadn't thought about. And so it's actually shifting the way in which we actually embrace this YOLO spirit around, we'll capture what we can and make the most of it and know that they're not going to be, having the longevity that we have. But I meet so many managers who are reluctant to train because they feel these people here. So we need to think of them as everyone's collateral that we can all capitalize on rather than their mine and our own people. But the entrepreneurship is also really interesting because we're going to see less large organisations and more small entrepreneurs starting up type things, I think. So what does this mean for teams? So this is the last couple of things I want to talk about is if we're going to embrace the YOLO generation, one of the things that we're going to have to be far more mindful of is purpose. And unlike a lot of us, they are interested in corporate social responsibility. The thank you, I don't know if you've heard of the thank you movement with the water bottles, is a really good example of that. I won't sure what that is at Google if you're not sure. It's a really interesting example. So what we're actually going to be seeing is that they want to see an organisation that's not just about making money. They want to hear about the environmental sustainability. They want to be hearing about its impact on the community, etc. And so what I've seen happening is, in the same way that we had a rush of organisations all developing their corporate values, my first experience of it was in Argyle diamond mines in the 80s. I think they were one of the first organisations to do values. Everyone's got values now. We're seeing the same rush to make sure you've got a purpose. So all these organisations having their, charity stuff and all that sort of stuff. And I think you can do it well, or you can do it badly in the same way with the values. But I think there's going to be an increased expectation of youth, and I think of other people too, that we need to make sure that we have a purpose in what we do, and that's defined. And an authenticity. These younger people, they've grown up being told about respect, being told about what's right and what's wrong, and if they can walk, they will walk from leadership, which doesn't align with that. They will see the bad behaviour, they will not condone the bad behaviour, they will see the lack of respect for diversity. There are so many examples of young people calling the disrespect for diversity in organisations and not wanting to tolerate it. So the authenticity and the purpose is something we're going to be thinking about. So how does this come together for resilience? Because John did say I was talking about resilience. So I'm going to end on the end. It's all about resilience because we've developed some models. So we've developed a toolkit that actually looks at an individual level, what do we actually need to do to be sustainable, to future-proof ourselves, if you like. And part of that is actually finding work that has purpose, that aligns with our values, looking after ourselves, etc. But today I've given you a tiny little bit of a flavour of some of the things we need to be thinking about at the team level, because we can be individually resilient, but if we're not aligned, we can actually work against our resilience because we can be in conflict. So things like constantly building our capability, being connected by a common vision, being connected by our values, having self-care strategies for us all of those things are elements of our resilience team model. And we also have a model around what you need to do as a team. And as John said, that's the course that's coming up on the 1st and 2nd of June, is this accreditation.